Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Inspired Action. The goal of this podcast is to not only leave you inspired in some shape or form, but more importantly, that you're left inspired to take some kind of action in your own life. Inspiration plus action are a very powerful combination. The Inspired Action podcast is brought to you by Stage Fright Management, which provides cost-effective social media solutions to grow your brand. Check them out at stagefrightmgmt.com. On this episode of Inspired Action, I had the pleasure of chatting with one of my best mates and housemate, Olly Davis, about his recent epic achievement of completing an IRONMAN Triathlon in Cairns, Australia. Enjoy. Yo, I think that's us now. A few technical glitches there with the other Live TV, and we're stressing out there a little bit, but we're just going for Facebook Live, and hopefully that's us up and going. Anyway, so we're having a different kind of setup. It's a bit of an in-house podcast today because it makes things really easy that Olly lives here. And Olly's one of my best mates, and I just wanted to talk about something that he has achieved a couple of weeks ago. So Olly, I took part in the Cairns Ironman. So if anybody doesn't know what an Ironman triathlon is, it's a 3.8 kilometre swim, followed up by a 180 kilometre bike ride.
Yeah.
And then followed that with a full marathon, isn't it?
42Ks.
Sorry, 42K run. So pretty crazy. It's just fascinating. Because living with Olly, it was seeing the training that he went through and the mental challenges and eating all the food. Like, that was a big one. Every 2 minutes the blender was going. But I just think it's a really cool story for us to talk about, because it's inspired. Like, it's totally inspiring to me because it started off as just a
few Ks, yeah.
A few K. It was
5 Ks a week. He
was doing a sponsored run. There was like a Fred Hollows sponsored run with the Thick as Thieves guys, and then the next day he's booked in to do an Ironman. So how did it go from that to then? And when did this start? Was it back in Feb?
Yeah, it was actually before that. It was probably just at the start of the year. I was training. I was catching up with my mate Mike. As you know, for each week we were going for 5K run, just to train, you know. And he said, "Hey, would you be interested in doing the Fred Hollows run, which is 60K?" And I'd never run a marathon before, so I thought, I'd be down for the challenge. So we continued to train.
That was like a fun thing, wasn't it? That was like a fun run, sponsored thing, but
that's it.
60K is a pretty big distance.
That was already a big challenge. I was like, wow, this is I'm going to have to work hard for this. And we continued to train. So we were training from the beginning of the year. So right up into probably middle of March, or maybe it was May, just before May. And I was getting really, really fit, you know, because we were continuing to train, and I was smashing all my times, and I was like, geez, this feels good. I feel like I could add something else onto the challenge. And then I got inspired by a guy called David Goggins.
Yeah, on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yes, if you haven't checked this guy out, go and check him out. He's an absolute maniac. But he just sent this message across about, you know, being able to go into these really uncomfortable areas to challenge yourself. So I thought putting an Ironman on top of the training would be a good challenge, something that I could measure myself on, just to see how far I could go with it.
But do you think you were inspired to do like an Ironman specifically because of David Goggins, or?
Well, David Goggins, he was inspiring me even through the running. You know, just I was
endurance.
Yeah, that's it. It was all of a sudden I was doing better. His message, that each time I was running, I was going. Whenever I was feeling pain or trying to get better, I was thinking about the message he was sending across, like pushing through that barrier, and all of a sudden you were getting better and your results were getting better. You're like constantly getting results, seeing things grow. It was like, oh, this is brilliant. But it was shortly after, around that time, I'd seen another guy called James Lawrence, who's known as the Iron Cowboy.
Right.
This guy's broke world records for all these Ironman, like X amount of Ironman. I think he'd done 20 Ironman in a year once. And then he went on to do 50 Ironman in 50 days over 50 states. Incredible story. So that kind of sparked the idea to, that's where the Ironman came from. And also, Mike, who I mentioned a minute ago, Mike had done Ironman before, so I knew I would have someone close by that could
bit of a mentor.
Yeah, give me some insight into what it would be like.
So once you, did you just do a bit of research and then found that there was an Ironman in Cairns in June? And I remember I'm booking it.
After I watched that, the James Lawrence interview, I was like, wow, how incredible would it be to be able to do an Ironman? And I'm feeling pretty fit at the minute. Let's see what there is. So I checked out, there was one in Busselton, which was in December this year. And then I seen another one, which was in the 10th of June. And I was like, wow, that's only 2 weeks after the 60k run. It's probably a bit soon. But then I kept thinking about this David Goggins guy.
What he do?
You got to push into that. So that was it then. It was like, it's on. And I got some advice from different people, and they were like, you probably should go, train a bit longer. You usually need up to a year to train for these sorts of things. But just being a bit stubborn and a bit sort of locked into this David Goggins mentality, I was like, I'm going to go for the one. I only had 10 weeks to train. So
10 weeks?
Yeah, from obviously I was getting fitter through the running, but I was 10 weeks out whenever I got into the pool and I got the bike going.
Because you hadn't even done any swimming or bike riding until you booked the Ironman?
That's right, yeah. I'd done it, I'd said to myself, I wonder will I do this? And then that weekend, on the weekend I decided, I got my bike and I'd done 40 Ks and I'd done it in something like couple of hours, and I worked it out and thought, right, well, I've got 16 and a half hours to do the Ironman. That wasn't so bad. Even if it took me 8 hours to do the bike ride, I said, I'll go and I'll swim.
You fit it in.
Yeah, I swam a kilometre and I couldn't swim the front crawl, so I done breaststroke, and I could swim the breaststroke a kilometre, I think, in an hour. So I thought 2 hours I should be able to do the swim, worst case scenario. So I was like, it's possible.
Yeah, it
was a bit dumb thinking. The more I think about it, once I realised, how hard it was to actually learn how to swim properly.
Yeah, big time. So, and the funny thing was, you can't see the bike here, but the bike Ollie bought off the internet. I'll let him tell you that story.
Yeah, the bike came probably a couple of months before any of this was even spoke about. I just needed a bike.
Yeah, you were just buying a bike.
And maybe in the back of my head I thought, I'll get a racing bike, because I used to have a racing bike and I had a hobby years ago. I would do very little Ks, but I'll get a racing bike and see how that goes. And I'd seen this one online. I couldn't believe the price of it. $250 it was. It's called the Trinx. It's a Chinese model. It's a great little bike, but it's a heavy bike.
Weighs 40 kilos.
No, I think it's 11 and a half. But I didn't think I was going to be doing an Ironman in it. And I actually tried a pro bike for a while, as again Mike had offered me to use his bike, and the frame is a lot bigger and it was a hell of a lot lighter, and I tried it, but I just liked the old bike.
It's like a challenge.
I thought, well, if I can do this and I can do it in this bike, well, that's even better.
What would David Goggins say?
He would say, stick to this. Stick to the old bike.
And Ollie was taking this bike. You got the handlebars off Mike and the pedals off Mike's good bike.
That's right, yeah. And I pinned it up. Definitely, I did pin it up a bit. Got the cleat on pedals, and I got the air bars, so it looked the part.
It did look the part. But then one day, Ollie, you cracked up. Remember one day you came back and you were in a bit of an angry mood. He took the bike across to one of the bike shops just for a tweak of service.
Yeah.
And the guy was just looked at the bike, but this is the best part of that bike is then handlebars and pedals.
He says, the bars are great, the pedals are great, but I don't know about the bike, mate.
Ollie was raging.
Yeah.
So, mate, then the training was on. What about the food, mate? Because that blender has got some abuse since you decided you were doing an Ironman. Well, that's
it. The more I started to research it, I thought if I need to do this, I had to be completely committed over that 10-week period. So I had to get my diet and my nutrition had to be 100%, and the recovery had to be 100%. and obviously the training. Those were the three areas: the sleep, the really good sleep, the nutrition, and the trainings. And obviously the nutrition.
You had up Tony, didn't you?
Yeah, Tony. Yeah, big shout out to Tony. O'Neill, yeah, he gave me some good advice, and recovery was a big thing he spoke about. But yeah, I basically had to up the calories with all the extra endurance because I was training every day. Lots of carbohydrates is what I was kind of basing it off on my research, which was, I think, about 3,000 calories a day roughly I was having every day for 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And it was 6 meals a day, and there was 3 of those meals were the shakes. That's what the blender was on, and the blender was just full of oats, banana, kale, chia seeds, just all of my goodness, peanut butter. It was pretty hectic.
Yeah, it's pretty hectic here in the blender going at 5 a.m. every morning.
Yeah, so it was good. I really enjoyed it. I didn't have much problem eating the food because you were burning it up so much because you're training every day.
And then the training itself, like how much training were you doing a day?
A couple of hours, even from an hour to a couple of hours, and then big runs. I would do a big run on a Friday. What's a big run? Well, that started off just as smart of the 5Ks, and then it went up to all the way up to 42Ks, which we done a marathon and training. And obviously that we were training also for the 60-kilometre run. Yeah. That would have happened on a Friday, would have been the long runs, so anywhere between an hour and 3 or 4 hours. And then on the Saturday or Sunday would have been the big bike ride, and again, that would have been anywhere from 2 hours to 6 hours. And you learned something very valuable one day about bike rides and motorways. Yeah, stay off the motorways. The police told me in. It was just fascinating watching you train for it, and then like this leading up to the swimming pool as well, and you were just in there a couple of days a week as well. And you joined a squad. I did the last. I think it was about the last 5 weeks leading up to the Ironman. I'd been training at the Piranha Aquatic Centre, and I was just I was learning off YouTube like how to swim properly. Constantly just watching the videos at night and then going in and practicing it and timing myself, and I could see myself. Obviously, through my times, it was getting better and faster, and just beginning to think, well, I've got the hang of this, I'm all right. So there was these squads going on a few lanes over, and anyone that's a triathlete or is into it will understand that they have these squad classes where, there could be up to 10 swimmers all swimming together with the coach there, trying all these different drills. And I thought, this is where I need to go just to get extra improvement. And I approached the guy, and he got me in the class, and I was soon to realise how bad I was at swimming, Yeah, but it was you said you mentioned your flexibility when you were swimming. That's it. The guy was able to point out things straight away. My feet were all over the place at the back, and I was actually putting my feet down, acting as brakes, which were slowing me down. So it was brilliant training for me because the guy was able to point these things out, and I didn't get perfect, but it definitely improved me a lot. It probably saved me at least half an hour on the Ironman. On the swim itself? Just training with these athletes who were incredible. It was just good to get in there and see the real deal. You were training with some of the pros. Exactly, yeah. And then you mentioned recovery. Yeah, recovery was essential. So what was the main thing that you learned throughout this experience, recovery-wise? Well, obviously getting a good night's sleep. And then do the right nutrition afterwards, but especially after you done the big run or you done the big bike ride, and you damage your body being out for that long, or you've been tearing different things. I went down to try these ice bath method, which I got from Wim Hof and other studies, which talk about after you've had these really hard workouts, just to get in the ice to really help that recovery, which was really annoying at the beginning and cold, but it soon became that you were dying to get into that ice bath because it's incredible the difference it made. Like you would have been really, really sore after these 30, 40k runs, and then once you got out of that ice bath, you were nearly 50% better, and then the next few days you were back in the game. So I felt that was a massive, because I had a little time to train for the Ironman. I think they were crucial for me to get that back into recovery so I could get back to training. Another thing I learned was my mentality, I guess, was like, well, if I can go and do 6 hours on the bike each week, that'll be great. That means there should be no problem by the time the Ironman comes. But what I wasn't thinking of, that when you go out on these big rides, if you don't have much experience, which I didn't, your body needs to recover.
Yeah.
You need time to recover. You know, it was like, so like, it was crazy to think that's the way I was thinking, but I guess that's what you learn. So, you know, it's definitely important to have a goal to train whatever you're going to train that week, and then make sure you're going to be able to recover properly.
Yeah. So leading up to then the Ironman, because it was only 2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So like, how were you feeling, like, mentally? Like, what was the mental challenges that you had to overcome? Like, were you stressed? Were you anxious?
Yeah,
like, what was sort of going through?
I think a big thing, because we had done the 60k run 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
Once I had been out on that run, which was 9 hours, the team we do it for the day, which was such a good experience. Once I got that over and I recovered, you know, a few days after that, it was a good for me, because I thought, I've lasted 9 hours out on a run. I felt that was good encouragement for me to know that, like, the Ironman was coming up. That's it. But I was so scared about the swim.
Right.
Like, I was really anxious about the swim, because I had really only done a few swims in the ocean, and I knew it wasn't a strong part, and I was really anxious about it. The bike ride, I had done up to 155 kilometres. That was the most I'd ever done on the bike, so I was close to the 180. But as we were getting closer to the event, I was just like, I have to piece all these bits together, and I haven't done it before. You know, just this fear, you know, that was coming in, and anxiety. Just this.
Because you've done them separately.
Yeah.
And then it's putting them all together.
I think it really hit whenever I got to Cairns, and I got to the actual event, and I started looking around me and seeing all these incredible athletes with these absolutely insane bikes. Like, it was just ridiculous. Whenever I was racking up the drinks, like, and on the day, I was just like, what the hell am I doing? So, yeah, again, I guess that's going to be the case for anything that you're building up to.
Of course, and you haven't done it before.
No, that's it. It was a bit scary, but...
You done it. So you went to Cairns and you sort of got there a day early and you sussed out the area. What was the humidity like?
Yeah. Humidity wasn't bad. No. That's something that, you know, I was told that, you know, you need to be sort of cautious of course, because training in Melbourne, it was a lot colder. And I had been hitting the saunas for about 2 weeks. About 2 weeks before it, I was going in every couple of days just to try and help that there, help me get used to the heat. But when I got there, it wasn't as bad as I thought. I think it was like 24 on the day. I didn't get any more than 26, and there was good wind. So, yeah, that was actually perfect, the heat.
And so the night before the race, did you sleep?
No, not really. Sweated mad. Just crazy sweats. This was happening a lot, and it might have been something to do with the anxiety just leading up to the event.
Freaking out.
Yeah, but I think on the day, I was fine when I got up there, but the day before, they do this thing called a transition tour, when you can go and you can check out where you're going to be transitioning from the swim to the bike and the bike to the run. It was a place called Palm Cove, and I went out there at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was real windy and choppy, and I was looking at the course they had for the swim, and it was all these choppy waves, and I was going, what? How the hell am I going to swim in there? Like, I was absolutely breaking it. Right. So it was just, and then the tour leader had said, it's going to be in the morning time, it's not going to be as choppy, so that was something to try and ease the fear. But once we had done all that, and it was just trying to get a good night's sleep before the race.
Just didn't happen?
No.
And then what time did you get up at? Like, what time was that at?
About 3 o'clock in the morning. I got up. I got up, and there's so much to do as well. Anyone that's done an Ironman will know this, but there's so many other things, just like organising your bike and getting all these different bags ready, you know, that are going to have your running gear in for whenever you get off the bike. And then after your swim, you need to put your wetsuit somewhere, and you have to put your hat on at a certain time. All these different things, and food. Your nutrition's massive. Making sure all your food's ready. And
what was your nutrition for the bike ride, or for the Ironman?
Electrolytes. Yeah, you know, Parias is what I was using during training, so I had a few of those, and then I just used the electrolytes, which they have.
The gels?
Yeah, the gels as well. When I got onto the bike, every half an hour I ate something. It was either going to be a banana, or maybe 2 bananas, or else a gel and a part of the bar, and that was the cycle throughout the whole time on the bike. And then same with the run, you've got your aid stations every couple of Ks.
Yeah. So whenever you started the race, was it like just a big group of people? Was it like set start? What way was it? How many people was around you whenever it was like? Well, was that a bit daunting? Was it?
It was actually. I was a bit concerned about that. I think people that see Ironman, I know that whenever I was watching events, you see all these athletes in the ocean, and it's just like they hit off with the flare, and everyone goes for it,
kicking each other.
But fortunately for me, and just with this event, they had a thing called a rolling start, which they just have a big massive line of people. Right. And they have a place where you go through that marks off your timer. Yeah. And they let about 6 people into the water at a time. And so they had 4 different zones, and you picked your zone based on the time you thought you were going to finish. Right. So I thought I was going to be in and around like an hour and a half to 2 hours, so I was at the end.
Right, okay.
But it was cool because everyone's out there in their own race, and it's all about your time for you. So once I would pass, and I get checked for my time, and then I was off.
Brilliant.
Into the ocean.
It was great. So our friend Mike Toner, he texted us the Ironman app, and it just showed us like where Ollie was with his tag. So we basically just watched Ollie doing his swim. We just seen this little OD initials just floating around the sea, and then he checks into his bike, and then he's away up the coast. So we just basically were texting each other, and Ollie's other friend Vanessa, the 3 of us were just texting each other all day, just phoning you. Oh, look, he's going, but where's that now? He's doing well, he's a good time. Because I didn't know what a good time was, but because Mike had, he knew what a good time was, so it was just interesting to watch. Like, technology's great these days. So you done the swim, mate, like an hour and a half?
An hour and 35 minutes.
Hour and 35 minutes? Brilliant.
Yeah, so
was that what you were sort of aiming for?
Yeah, I was, and I was so worried, because the watch that I had got, I had forgotten the charger for it, for the watch. I had 2 watches. One was only going to last 4 hours. The other one was going to last all day, and that's the charge I forgot. So when I was in the ocean, I had no watch to know what time it was. Right. And I was just scared, and the fear was kicking in. And once I got to the halfway point, it was like, I just had no idea what time it was. And people were coming past, and I was like, I'm just worried that I'm going to be too late, so I started going really hard towards the end of the swim, and actually wrecked my shoulder. Right. So by the time I got out of the water, my shoulder was absolutely on fire, and I was really struggling. I was actually a bit worried that I wasn't going to be able to go get on the bike. That's how bad it was. I didn't know that. So when I sat, I thought I need to sit down and eat something and relax and breathe for a minute. Yeah. And I did that, and I managed to get on the bike. And 10 minutes into the bike, it was gone. The pain was gone, and it was on to the next stage. And then the bike took a bit of a turn as well. That's on the bike. And yeah, the bike was fine, as I said, like that pain and that fear gone once I got onto the bike, and we were away, and that was great for the first 5.5 hours, I think. And then the last, I think when I got to 120 kilometres, this pain, this horrible pain, started setting in my back. It was almost like kidney or something had burst open. I didn't know what was going on. I was down on the bike like this here, and I was so happy with the way time and everything was going and the way I was feeling, and then this just got hit with this wall, and it really scared me. I thought, I'm going to have to get off, I'm going to have to stop, and I didn't want to stop, because mentally I was thinking, maybe this is just a challenge here, maybe everyone's feeling like this, maybe this is the wall, because I was in pain and it was sore, but then I was like, I'm in an Ironman, it's not supposed to be easy. So I had to work out a way to get through it, which was to sit up on the bike like this. Unfortunately, that the wind was coming right at me then, so it slowed me down a lot, but it kept me moving. As I kept thinking, if I could just keep moving without stopping, then I'll get to the run. Yeah. And I did eventually. And you got a touch of sunburn. I did, I got sunburned hard. I was never as glad to get off that bike. I swear, I just wanted to just get off the bike. You can take the boy out of Ireland. Yeah. So off the bike, what was that transition like? Because you were saying the transition from each stage, like it bubbled you a wee bit. It did. I guess it's funny because, that's what it's all about. Because you're in one position for so long. How long did the bike ride take? 6:47. 6 hours 47. Yeah, I was kind of hoping for around 6, but like once I seen what happened on the day and like being out there, I was really happy. And you're riding like a postman in the last bit. Yeah, but it it was just brilliant to get through it. And I had no punctures or anything. I had no problems. Like, you see people having, there's so many things that can go wrong, when you're doing 180 kilometres, so I was very lucky.
Did you have a puncture kit now?
I did, I had everything ready, but thankfully the drinks made it through.
So then the run, so you transitioned off the bike onto the run, and I suppose that was a home stretch, 42 kilometre home stretch.
Running was my favourite part, because I guess I had done the most training for the running, hadn't I? And I was enjoying it, so I knew the running, that was my best, strongest part, and I was so excited to get off the bike just to start running, and then I started running. I was like, yes, I was happy again. I was like, the pain had gone then from the back, and it was upright, and I was in good form.
What was the energy levels like at that stage though?
Good. I had a wee peanut butter sandwich stashed in my transition bag, which I smashed in me, so that put a smile on my face.
Kept that for when you get her tight.
That's it. And then you're just on adrenaline, I think, because you're surrounded by people that are all just out there, just against themselves, there's such a brilliant energy out there, because everyone has trained hard for this here, and no one's getting an easy ride. Like, there's no such thing. Is it like everyone's just struggling at some point?
And what was it? Were you running in the groups? Were you chatting to anyone running?
I met a few people. Actually, it was good. I remember at the transition tour they had said, get out there when you get the run. Don't be scared to make a few friends.
Right. And how did that come about?
I guess you've been out there. You've been on the bike when you're on. You've been in the swim, and you're probably just feeling like you're starting to get through this. And you
like moral support.
That's it. You just start finding yourself pacing. You're pacing with beside people. You're starting, so it's good to.
And you chat to them?
Have a few words there. I met some really. It's amazing. I met some incredible athletes. I met a 63-year-old guy. He was on his 12th Ironman. So it was absolutely inspiring. He didn't start until he was in his 40s.
Right.
This guy, and that's just what's so fascinating to me, because I would have thought it would just have to be these elite athletes, which people are, but it shows there's a massive mental strength, because there's all sizes, all ages, men and women, just
nationalities as well.
About 40 different nationalities, I think there was in the race.
Wow.
So it's such a good event for people to be out there together.
And then I suppose come up to the finish line. How was that?
Amazing, because again, I struggled once. It's just like it happened in the swim and in the bike. I was banging in the run at the beginning, and then halfway through I hit that wall, and it was almost a little bit scary, because it was like, I've got half of the run still to go. I'm going to have to pull it back. I was really happy with the time I was making, but I dropped back. I think they're about 6.5 minute Ks.
Yeah, I remember seeing that on that.
And I thought I'd better take it slow, and I could see people just dropping all around me. There was people vomiting, and there was medics out, there was stuff going on, and I was scared me a bit, so I need to concentrate and stay focused. And I thought I'll pull it back a bit and just keep working, getting the fluids and getting through the aid stations. And once I get to maybe the last 6K, I'll bump it up again, and that's what happened. I started drinking Coca-Cola. They were giving out on the last lap. And then I just smashed it the last 6Ks, or I think it was about the last 6 to 4Ks. I just ran as hard as I could, because I knew I was going to make it.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to get through.
And then the feeling, what way was it? Was it just a big crowd? Was it each side?
It's such a well-run event. It's amazing, by the way, how well they run it. And I guess it's different in every city, but the people in Cairns were unreal, because the run, which was the last bit, they had the track set in around the Esplanade, so it was around all the bars, and there's different things going on, and so many people were just out in the street cheering, and you've got a bib on that's got your name on it, and they can see that, and people are shouting your name, and they're just keeping you going for it. So once you come into the final 100 metres, it's like unbelievable, because everyone's cheering and they've got the microphone going, and you see that finish line, and you're like, it's done.
Yeah.
You just start thinking about all the training and all the commitment and all that stuff, and it's like you're actually going to do it.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but I think anyone can do it with the right mindset and the right training. Yeah, the right bike drinks.
And did you drop at the finish line? So you go over the finish line, what happened? I'd have been vomiting probably.
No, I was just in shock, I guess.
Right.
And there was people coming at me. Someone came at me with a medal, and someone put a tie around me, and someone trying to get the chip off me. And
someone trying to steal your trainers.
Yeah, then they got you around for pictures and stuff, and you just got to take a massive sigh of relief, and you're just so happy. You just couldn't get rid of the smile on the face.
Did you shed a tear or any emotions?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A few times on the bike ride, I was in tears.
Right.
Not just different emotions, of like, I guess there was some times where I was just realising what the hell was I doing there, and then sometimes it was like, you're an Ironman, freaking crazy, like what the hell are you doing? But then I was excited because it was something that was a bit scary, and you were going through it.
A few realisations.
Yeah.
So after the Ironman, you must have been like body wise, but did you go into your body going to show up? How was the aftermath? What was the aftermath?
It really did. We had a massive area for everyone to replenish on food, and
it's a John's ambulance sort of thing.
That's it. They had a huge big massage room, which anyone could get a massage. So I queued up to get a massage, and it was just great to chat to a few people that had just finished the race as well. I remember getting on the massage table, and I just started this horrible coldness come over me, absolutely shivering, and my legs were just really, really painful. And the girl had to come round with one of those big tinfoil wraps and just wrap me up like a sweetie, just to keep me warm, and I got the massage done. But yeah, after half an hour after that, once I had some food in that, I was okay.
And then, so what was the next day like? Did you sleep that night?
I certainly did. Yeah, I did. I was pumped, like
Adrenaline
for the first couple of hours afterwards, but it was nice to get a proper night's sleep. It was the next few days were sore. Like, I think inflammation, is really what's going on there. Once you put your body through that kind of endurance for that length of time, it's just sore, but for a few days. But
did you get a nice bath up there?
I didn't get one immediately after it, but the following day, I did. Yeah, I booked in with my girlfriend. I had booked as a gorgeous place up in a place called Mossman. This beautiful little shack, and we had a nice bath up there.
Had the right point.
Yeah.
And that was it. Switch off.
Yeah. It was such a good feeling to know that I didn't have to train anymore.
Such an achievement.
Yeah, it was good. It was such a good experience. As I say, I think it's such a good experience to jump into something like that and just know you can do it. Because I guess anyone can do it with just be training for it.
Yeah.
And that's what I learned as well. Not because I did it, because the people that I seen doing it that day, all ages, like just mums, dads, like all their kids and all there. And I seen guys with like their family on the bike. There's a guy, 75-year-old as well, that finished it there, and it was just this incredible, like, that's just such a mental game, and it's just about committing yourself to the training, committing yourself to the nutrition over a period of time until it's done. And there was a lot of quotes and stuff up around, the course, and one of them was like, the race it's your reward. The race day is a reward for the training. So I think the journey and the experience, it's all in the lead up to the race.
Hard.
That's it. It's great to go and do the race, but all those days, like, missing out, there was a lot of things you have to sacrifice. And, a lot of times with your friends, and a lot of, just hanging out, and social life definitely takes a rattle, if you're committing to something like that.
Yeah, it was inspiring to watch. You were so disciplined, like, you made me feel really inadequate. That's what I saw an interview with Usain Bolt and Conor McGregor. This is the fight, the main event sort of thing. That's the easy part. It's the training where that's where the real challenge is.
It is, and as I say, I only done not that much training. I feel like I was very fit in regards to the running, and I was like eager to just get the bike and swim it just so I can do an Ironman. But now I get the idea. I get the idea what it's about. It's people saying you train for a year for something like this, and I can see how that can be really valuable. And that's the journey. That's the experience.
Yeah,
setting a goal like that that's going to take you that length, and then get to go through with it that day.
Yeah,
something that that just scares you, I guess.
Yeah. So we're both big advocates for quotes and our books and our inspirational podcasts and videos and whatever we share. What's sort of, I suppose, the number one quote, mate? Because like you do a lot of journaling and stuff. What's your number one quote that got you? Would you say that was really valuable to you to get you through that?
I love that quote. "I'm the captain of my ship, the master of my fate," which comes from Napoleon Hills. But as far as the run goes, after again being inspired by David Goggins and just this crazy mentality, whilst I was in running training, this was one day when I was breaking through this run, this time, I just had this idea. It was like, my mind's greater than my body, and my body obeys my mind. And for some reason that came in, so I kept repeating that in my head. So anytime I hit a struggle, anytime I hit that in the swim or the bike, I just kept saying that, and I just kept getting through it. And I kept getting beaten the times, and then it's amazing how when you say something over and over in your head, when you're struggling and you're in pain, it takes you away from saying, "I'm in pain." So you're not trying to fight, you're fighting with just some sort of
pushing through it.
Some sort of quote you can tell yourself. Brilliant. It could be anything if it works for you.
Yeah, they're powerful. So mate, now that's all wrapped up and you're back in Melbourne, you've had a couple of weeks off, you've had nothing to take away. And,
it's been good to just relax,
You've had a bender.
I went to celebrate it at the weekend.
Definitely did celebrate. So what's next, mate? You're going to park your old tricks up, and what's next on the agenda?
Yeah, I'd like to definitely keep doing all the three disciplines or the three sports. Small. I'm not really rushing in to do an Ironman again, I think. But
neither am I.
Like, obviously, we know, like the DJing and producing is the passion, and I want to use some of the things I've learned along this way and put that into
mindset.
Yeah, what I love. But I'm also keen. I lost a lot of weight during that process. So
you did.
As far as the health and fitness goals are concerned, I want to get back in the gym again and pump a bit of on, I think.
So we both got our measurements, our body fat and stuff taken the other day. So it's good to have a bit of a benchmark. I've been getting mine's tracked for the last 3 or 4 years, and I'm at my lowest body fat percentage ever, which is good. Same body fat percentage as them. Shit you not. Tell the truth. They'll believe this. But so, and that was always first time. Well, it's your first time to sort of get a really good, clear benchmark of what's next, and I think your goal is on muscle next and get into the gym and
that's it.
Training with Mike and stuff.
I'll be good now. Yes, I'm just keen. I've always was a keen gym goer, and I haven't really been in training in about a year. I know I've been doing more sort of athletic stuff, but I want to use that mentality now, just to see if there's any difference, because I really would like to get into some good shape.
Yeah. Happy days. Well, I'm sure you'd agree that was pretty inspiring. It's inspired me. It hasn't inspired me to do an Ironman per se, but it's just good energy to be around. And I've learned heaps from you, mate. Thanks for the last 6 months. It's been special, and I look forward to seeing how the body fills out.
Yeah, mate. Well, we're in this together now, mate.
So
we're seeing who can get the lowest body fat.
Yeah,
it's on.
Easy. Done. Cool. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. And we will hopefully get this technology figured out yet. And I will see you in a couple of weeks. Ciao.